All right. I'm hoping everybody has their course books and you have your pencils and you have your white sheets I gave you yesterday. So if you don't have a white sheet, Sienna, you weren't here yesterday, I will give you yours. Well, you can take this one. Okay, 2J, eyes this way. I'm waiting for everyone to look this way. What?
What about Sabrina?
Sabrina, you should have a white sheet. You were here yesterday. She does. All right, 2J, eyes this way. All right, well, today in Reading Workshop, we are going to, as we said in the morning message, reread The Emperor's Penguin, okay? But before we read it yesterday, we filled out this white sheet that you all have. The name of the sheet was called An Anticipation Guide for the Emperor's Egg. And we talked about the word anticipation. It's a really big word. Does anybody remember what we said anticipation means? This is an anticipation guide. Do you remember, Lily, what we said anticipation means? No. Okay, glad you came to school today so you can learn. Caroline?
It's like getting ready to get excited.
Getting ready. Getting exciting for it. And what did I talk about yesterday that was something that we anticipate or we have anticipation for? Eleonora? Christmas. Or another big holiday that you may celebrate. So you get excited. You think about it, right? And same with this sheet. Anticipation guide for Emperor's Egg. We're getting excited for the story. All right, but yesterday when we filled out the anticipation guide before reading and we read these statements, our answers were based on what? How did you know to put true or false? What were our answers based upon? Supriti? We hadn't read the story yet. So how did you know to put T or F? We didn't, did we? But you had to. You had to predict.
Background knowledge.
Background knowledge. We couldn't infer yet because we didn't have any clues from the story. So we had to predict.
We only knew the title of it, so the biggest fan.
Okay, and background knowledge, all right? All right, well today, when we reread, we're gonna have our anticipation guide with us. But our goal today is to reread this story and look at the story in two different ways, with two different lenses. The first lens is we're gonna be keeping our eye out for answers in the text.
So we can get real answers.
So we can get real answers. We can get what you'd call proof. So that's one thing we're going to be looking for as we reread The Emperor's Egg closely today. The second thing that you need to be really looking for and thinking about is this.
Oh, look, habitat behavior and food. It's like you're doing your report on. That's what I said.
It's like you're doing your report on Emperor Penguin. So as we're reading it, what's going to be our resource for our report?
A book. Emperor Penguin. The book.
The book. And as we're reading the book or the text, what are we going to really keep our eyes or our lens open for? The answers for what?
The question.
What questions?
The questions on your piece of paper. Habitat, food, behavior, and acts.
Okay, we're going to be looking to see if the text tells us how the Emperor Penguin looks. How the Emperor Penguin, where he, that's what habitat you told me. What he or she eats, because there is a he and a she, and then
Behavior. What it acts like.
what it acts like. Okay, so are you ready to reread? Oh, good question, Kira. Kira says, can you put that on the back? And I said, nope, because have no fear. Mrs. D is here. Yeah, we're going to, right now, we're going to reread. We're going to get proof from the text for our anticipation guide. And we're also going to be thinking to see if we see in the story anything that describes about looks, habitat, food, or behavior for emperor penguin. Because when we finish, you're going to go and work with a partner and fill in this chart full of facts, actual facts from the text. Use a strong voice, tell me. Could you reread the text to kind of look for it?
Yeah.
I think so. All right, let's reread the text as a group. You guys ready? Okay, I have my pencil. I have my anticipation guide. What we're going to do is we're going to start to read it, and I'm going to ask some people to read. I'm going to read a little bit. When we come across something that you notice that is on our anticipation guide, raise your hand. And that'll be our signal to know, wait a second, we may have spotted something. You ready? The Emperor's Egg, written by Martin Jenkins. Why don't you come over here, sweetheart? And illustrated by Jane Chapman. Amanda, yesterday, do you remember what type of book this is? What's the genre?
The genre is nonfiction.
Definitely nonfiction.
Informational book.
An informational book. And an informational book is what, Hayden?
Nonfiction.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real book. It gives you information.
It's real. It gives us information. What do you think the author's purpose was in writing this book?
Inform us.
Inform us. Persuade us what?
What does
Prob-
persuade mean again?
Thanks for asking. What does persuade mean again? Persuade. Supriti?
I think it means like to like get you really into the book.
Kind of. Add to that. Kira?
It's like the author wants like a kid or somebody to do that.
Try to get you to think or do something.
Think about the penguins. And
Well, that's what we were wondering. Hayden, do you think the author is trying to persuade us to do anything here? Probably not.
Really.
Do you think inform us?
Yeah. It's giving us facts.
It definitely is giving us a lot of facts. Is he trying to entertain us?
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of, but what do you think the most?
Inform us.
Inform us. Okay, here we go. And illustrated by a woman, Jane Chapman, The Emperor's Egg. I'm on page 126. Down, thanks for tracking, at the very bottom of the world, there's a huge island that's almost completely covered in snow and ice. Everybody?
It's called Antarctica.
And it's the coldest, windiest place on Earth. I like this picture. It's a map of what? Antarctica is. What pole is Antarctica on? South Pole. Okay. It's on the bottom. So here's our globe. So down here is Antarctica. It's in the southern hemisphere. Okay. Would you continue reading, Lily?
The weather is bad enough there in summer, but in winter it's really terrible. It's hard to imagine anything it's hard to imagine anything actually living there.
But wait. What's that shape over there? It can't be. Yes! Everybody?
It's a penguin!
Oh my gosh. Lily, you did a nice job of what? What did she do? You did. You monitored your reading and then you backed up and you smoothed it out. Kiss your brain. Good job. Would you continue reading? Cole, strong voice.
It's not just any old penguin either. It's a real emperor penguin. The biggest penguin in the world. And he is doing a very important.
All right, I see some hands up. Cole, would you pick someone?
On our sheet, it tells us that the first sentence.
Would you read the first sentence?
An emperor penguin is the biggest in the world.
Is it true or false? True. So I'm going to mark in the after reading column a T. And what page do we find that on?
128.
I'm going to write 128 after it. So I know that it was in the text on page 128. You guys heard it. It wasn't just background knowledge, Tanishka and Supriti. It was actual proof. Okay? All right, let's continue on. Let's see. I see where he at. He's taking care of his egg. He didn't lay it himself, of course. Why is that kind of funny?
Because he's not a man. Because females only get babies. Female penguins like that.
Females
Females babies.
you have the babies or lay the eggs.
Only because they lay eggs and only mammals like give birth.
Right. So is a penguin a mammal then?
No.
All right. What's on the bottom? What's on the bottom, Bridget?
It's like a caption.
Okay. What is the caption? It's a nonfiction feature, but what does it do?
It tells you about the picture.
It definitely tells you.
But gives you more information.
Fun fact. More
Yeah.
information. Bridget, would you like to read the caption?
Male emperor penguins are about 4 feet tall. The females are a little small.
Okay. All right. Let's do it. Let's see how tall a male emperor penguin is.
4 feet.
Hey, what did you say yesterday?
4 feet.
And you said
4 feet.
you're 4 feet, okay?
I'm
And
4 feet.
if you look around the room, everyone is about 4 feet. Because can you imagine the emperor penguin is this big?
No.
But ladies, I have some sad news about you. What's that news? That's a fact.
You're a little smaller.
You're a little smaller. Not much. Just a little.
Who cares?
Who cares is right. Have a seat.
Yeah. Only a little smaller. Who cares about
I'm on page 129. Would you take your finger and make sure you are too? His mate did that a few weeks ago. Did what a few weeks ago? Did they give birth?
No.
They laid the egg. Okay. Would you continue reading Karina?
But very soon afterward, she turned around and waddled off to the sea.
Your hands are up. Karina, would you pick someone?
Maddie. On the second sentence, it says, after the mother penguin lays the egg, she leaves it with the father and waddles off to sea.
Is that true or false?
True.
It's true. And what page did we find that fact on?
129.
It was right there in the text on 129. Would you reread what it said to prove it, Karina?
But very soon afterward, she turned around and waddled off to the sea.
Yep, that's 129. Definitely did that. How many are a little surprised about that?
Yeah.
And why? Trent, are you surprised?
No, not really.
No?
Yeah, because in real life, don't parents they
Go ahead,
lay their
Julie.
babies and then they stay there for a long time.
Yeah, don't parents like have their babies but then they care for them and then the mother who just had her baby is waddling off.
Only like the
I
father.
I think the father I know why she gets all fat.
I think you have a lot of good thoughts. I want us to remember, though, when someone is speaking that we're quiet and we're listening, and then when they finish, we can share. We've heard from Kira and Akash. Does anybody else have any thoughts regarding the mother just waddling off to sea? Amanda?
Like usually the other animals they just stay with the babies and the penguins they just all just go off like that. I don't think that's very responsible for the female penguins to do that. Like how could the father get there in time? Like it's like she laid the egg right before the father penguin could make it. So
Not very
she
responsible is what I'm hearing you say.
Yeah, so you can't just like leave the egg.
Okay.
And the father penguin is walking to there.
All right, we're going to take one more comment.
Responsible.
Go ahead, Trent.
Well, I kind of think it's okay because the male does it and the female comes back to do that when the baby is hatched and that's because the female just had an egg and had to take care of their other baby just before that, the past year. So they're probably really hungry, and so they do that. And when the female are over, the male is over eating.
Okay, let's see if as the story goes on, if this is okay for the mom to
I
do.
don't get something.
What don't you get?
Like when yesterday they if the baby goes on the ice it dies. So do the penguins
If it goes in the water,
I don't know if it gets cold.
If it gets
cold, it says.
Okay, so we heard, and when we come to that part, let's ask it again. We heard that you don't understand that when it goes on the ice that it could die. What part don't you understand about that?
Do they have to drop it to the father, or just?
So how does the mom get it to the dad to begin with?
Get it on her feet and
they
give
like
it to him, or
walk together.
why?
They kind of squeeze their legs to push it in.
Or maybe the dad she lays it and then the dad picks it up from her.
Should we give it a try?
Yeah.
Okay. I will be the mother. Okay. And I have just laid my egg. Okay. And now I am going to ask Akash to stand up and be the dad. Now remember, I am just role playing the mom penguin.
You're actually
So I
bigger
might
than
not be an expert, and yes, I'm
you're
actually
bigger.
bigger.
Than him, and that's fun.
Okay. Now, I'm getting ready to go, buddy. Okay, here it is. You ready?
They only have
They
flippers.
waddle together. Yeah, like that. That's what they do. Kind of.
You think?
Yeah. They have to kind of kick it on there. They're kicking their baby's egg.
Yeah, you got it?
Okay.
Watch him water.
Get into the water.
Give him 3 yahoos. Yahoo! Yahoo!
They're kicking their baby's egg out.
All right, 2J, eyes this way.
Did you know that takes about an hour for them to do that?
I didn't. Is that background knowledge or something you read in a magazine?
I watched this show called, well, I can't really, but it's this show, and it's
And that's where you learned that fact? Okay. Now, Akash and I, we were just role playing, but you can see that that's probably how it's done.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue on in our reading. I believe, okay, 1:30. Well, that's where the female emperor penguin spends most of the winter, swimming about, getting as fat as they can, eating as much as they can, and generally having a very nice time, as far as you can tell.
I think I know what
Julian, your hand's up.
in the application guide,
The anticipation guide?
meanwhile, the mother is swimming, eating, and having a great time.
Number 5 is the statement you just read. And after reading, would you say that's true or false? True. And what page, what part of the text gave us that information?
1:30.
130. Okay. Emperor penguins, I'm going to read the caption, eat mainly fish, squid, and tiny shrimp-like animals called krill. I see hands going up. What are you thinking, Maddie?
Well, I'm just thinking about whales because they eat krill too.
Oh, is that what you, was that one? How about looking at our chart for later that you're going to fill out? Foods, do you think?
Yeah. And fish.
And fish.
So maybe the whale and the penguin, and when they meet together in the sea and they both love krill, they have to like fight over it.
Let's
Like,
hope not too much.
The penguin like grabs it and maybe the whale has to like chase the penguin to get it.
Okay. We're on page 131. Let's see how this story continues to unfold. Would you like to read? Is there a volunteer? Strong voice. Bridget. Tracking?
Which leaves the father penguin stuck on ice with his egg. Now, the most important thing about exiting is to stop your egg from getting cold. That means it has to be kept off the ice and out of the wind. And what better way to do that than to rest it on your feet and tuck it right up under your tummy, which is just what the father penguin does.
Okay. Nice job. Nice job working on that word rest. You figured it out. Maddie, your hands up.
I heard that it rested on his feet and tuck it right up under his tummy. It's like number 3.
Number 3.
It's kind of like father penguin balances the egg on his feet and tucks it under his tummy to keep it warm.
Thumb up if you agree. Okay, so I'm going to put that statement is true or false then, guys? True. And what page did we find it in? 131. Okay. Let's continue here. All right. Right now, I'm going to have Andrew give this a try. You ready, Andrew? Okay.
Inside the egg, a penguin chick is starting to grow. If the egg gets cold, the chick will die.
It is horrible, isn't it? And they only get one a year. All right, turn the page. I'm on page 132. And that's how we'll stay for 2 whole months until his egg is ready to, everybody say the word? Hatch. Hands are up. What do you think? Sienna, what are you thinking? On our anticipation guide? Uh-huh.
It's not 12 months, it's 2 months.
Oh, would you read the statement on the anticipation guide for number 4?
The father watching the egg by himself for 12 months.
Oh, and what does the text say?
2 months.
2 months. Can someone lend a pencil to Sienna? I see her looking for one. So is that true or false, folks?
False.
Why is it false? Again.
Because they don't stay like that for 12 months. They stay for that for 2 months.
Okay, and what page we find that on? 133. Oh, well, 132. All right, I'm on page 133. Can you imagine it? Sitting around in the freezing cold with an egg on your feet for 2 whole months. All right. Read the caption. Strong voice. Strong voice. Meadow.
Female emperor penguins lay 1 egg in May or June, which is the beginning of winter in Antarctica.
Okay. Beginning of winter in Antarctica? how is that the beginning of winter in Antarctica, in May or June? Do you know better or not sure? I'm glad you came to school today. That's what you're here for, to learn. Karina.
The sun is shining on the other side of the globe, which is making us get summer. And on the other side is Antarctica, where there's no sun, so it's getting colder and colder.
Okay. So our seasons are what we call the opposite, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Summer, winter, spring is
Right. It's the opposite. So the top half of the earth is called what?
the northern hemisphere.
The northern hemisphere, and the bottom is
Southern
southern.
hemisphere.
Okay. So when the southern hemisphere is having summer, the northern hemisphere is having winter. Let's think right now. Right now it's winter here, just about.
And over there
It must be summer. Summer in Antarctica. Yes, Lily.
Cool. I have a question
Yes.
about the globe thing.
Okay.
It has two lines on it. Which one is the equator? On the other one. What is the axis on the other one? The one that goes in the middle of the equator. The one that goes through the middle, like the bigger line around it.
Okay. The darker one is the equator.
And then there's a map. And then she said that I'm trying to look
Oh, it does have a, where's the, oh, yep. It does have a map key, but it doesn't have equator on here.
Where's the map key?
Okay. Let's get back to our penguins. We're just about done with our story. Caroline, would you like to read?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to page 134. Everybody else is tracking.
What's more, there's nothing for the father penguin to eat on land. And because he's egg-sitting, he can't go off to sea to feed. So that means 2 whole months with an egg on your feet and no dinner.
All right, the next 3, let's read together.
Or breakfast, or lunch, or snack.
Keep it going. I don't know about
you, but I'll be very, very miserable.
I noticed that the author highlighted miserable with yellow.
Because it was
It's a vocabulary. Expand your vocabulary word. So what do you think miserable means? Can you define it? Can you define it? Karina?
mad and sad, like tired,
Mad, sad, tired, angry, hungry,
That's what I said.
Very, very, very
frustrated, things not going well. Let's see if they improve. Luckily, on page 135, tracking, luckily the penguins don't seem to mind too much. They have thick feathers and lots of fat under their skin to help keep them warm. Caroline,
It looks
it describes how the penguin looks. All right, and when it gets really cold, Eleonora,
They all snuggle up together and shuffle over the ice in a great big
most of the time, Justin,
the huddle trundles.
help or time? Help, okay. You have the beginning blend. Trun. Dulls. It's a 2-syllable word. Try it again.
Most of the time, the huddle trundles along very, very slowly.
Trundles along very, very slowly. What does trundles mean, Justin? Not sure? Some help? Text. What does it mean? The huddle trundles along very, very slowly. What do you think? Trundles along. Bridget?
Like if we get together
Move.
They move.
Yeah,
They
like
take turns.
Move very slowly.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes. You know what? I'm going to pick 3 people to give trundles a try. Okay. I'm going to pick Justin, Cole, and Tanishka. Stand up. Put your feet together and step over your book before you do that because I don't want you to trundle on your book. Okay? And I want you actually to walk that way like people. Walk that way like people. And then I'm going to have you trundles back. Now remember, you have to huddle up. Go ahead. Okay, now waddle like a penguin, and they trundles, how does it say? The huddle trundles along very, very slowly. First of all, why are they moving slowly? Because the egg, okay? And then why else do you think they are probably moving slowly? They have the egg there. Lily?
And it's really cold and windy.
It's cold and windy, Bridge.
And they're in there together and they're all snug.
Yeah, they're together.
Each other.
And they have to stay at the same
And they don't
pace.
want to let the egg to fall out or else it could break or die.
Okay,
Or
all
get
right.
cold.
You are now second graders again. Have a seat. Thanks for showing trundles. Bottom of page 135. But sometimes, when the penguins get to a particularly slippery slope. Go ahead, Julian.
They slide down on their tummies, pushing themselves along with the flippers. Always remember to take care of the egg and try hard not to bump into each other.
Continue.
And even tough, the males keep the egg tucked up tight under their tummy. When they slide, it sometimes rolls out and breaks. And that's how the father penguin spends the winter, until one day he hears a chip, chip, chip.
Okay, before we turn the page, did someone notice something when Julian was reading and you want to kind of make it a teachable moment to help your friend in second grade? Dominic.
When in pushing themselves along with their flippers, always remember to take care, he said, of the egg.
Okay, to take care of their egg and trying hard not to bump into each other. And then, can you help him? What do you think? Did you notice something, Hayden?
That we're supposed to read these first before the caption.
Yes, that when we finish reading that it would make sense, right, Amanda? To
Yeah.
go across to the text on page 137 first and then come back and read the caption.
Yeah.
Did anybody notice that it seemed like we weren't making sense then? Julian, would you like to give it another try?
They slide down on their tummies, pushing themselves along with their flippers. Always remember to take care of their egg and trying hard not to bump into each other. And that's how the father penguin spends the winter until one day he hears a chip, chip, chip. Even tough, the males keep the egg tucked up tight under their tummy. When they slide, even tough, the males keep their egg tucked up tight under their tummy. And when they slide, it sometimes rolls out and breaks.
Okay, is there a word in there that's kind of tough for you? I think it makes sense to say even touch,
No, it makes sense to say no.
even though.
Because
Okay.
TH makes the or
The TH makes the th sound.
or the.
So Julian, that second word in the caption, take a look at it, Julian. Even though. Try it again, Jul.
Even though the males keep the egg tucked up tight under their tummies, when they slide, it sometimes rolls out and breaks.
Okay, how did that feel, Julian? Good job, okay. Yes, Lily?
In behavior, we could put it slides on spelling.
I like it. I'm thinking, turn the page. Page 138. His egg is starting to hatch. It takes a day or so. But finally the egg cracks right open and out pops. Everybody.
Okay.
Go ahead, Akash.
Now the father's penguin has two jobs to do. He has to keep the chick warm, and he has to feed it. The chick is only about 6 inches tall at first, and much too small to grow to keep warm by itself.
Trent?
I have a connection because I have this little stuffed penguin and I called him Ronald because he walked.
Okay. Did we find anything yet from our anticipation guide or not yet?
Yeah.
No. Akash?
Number 6, it says, finally the chick catches at the father feeds it with milky food from the crow.
Well, what do you guys think? We found the first,
We haven't from the first part, but not the second.
not the second part. Let's keep reading, okay? Let's keep reading. Meadow, how about you? Would you like to continue reading? Page 140?
But on what? The chick is too small to be taken off to the sea to catch food, and it can't be left behind on the ice. Well, deep down in the father's penguin's throat, there's a pouch where he makes something a little like milk, and that's what he feeds to his hungry chick.
Oh, are you ready now? What number should we go to?
6.
What number can we go to?
6.
6?
Yeah.
Yep, you're right. Okay. And it's true?
It's fine.
No, it's number 6. And what page did we find that on in the text? 140. And part of it on 139 too. All right, let's continue. The father penguin. I'm on page 141 now.
Yeah.
Who hasn't had a chance to read? Trent, strong voice.
The father penguin can make only enough of the milky stuff to feed his chick for a couple of weeks. But just as he's about to run out, a dot appears on the horizon. It gets closer and closer and
Yes! Turn the page.
It's
Mom! Continue reading. Kira.
She starts trumpeting, hello, and the father penguin starts trumpeting, hello, and the chick whistles. The racket goes on for hours, and it really does sound as if they're extremely pleased to see each other.
I'm thinking of a new vocabulary word on that page that means a lot of noise.
Racket? Trumpeting? Trumpeting. Racket.
Why do you think racket?
What is racket?
That's what I'm asking.
There's 2 things that a racket can be.
What are the 2 meanings? The multiple meaning?
There's like a racket that you can play tennis with, and then racket, it means like a loud noise.
A lot of noise is a racket. Sometimes when the boys had friends over when they were little, I would hear them down in the basement and I'd say, stop all that racket.
Yeah,
Have you thumbs up if you've ever heard that before?
that's such a big breath.
Okay. What do you think that trumpeting means? Because we thought that might have meant a lot of noise.
Trumpeting is like the sound you can make.
You can make with a trumpet, but I didn't see an instrument on that page.
It's probably that something like a call. Call. It's like a call. It's like a way to say hello. Like
And penguin. Okay, I'm going to give you 2 seconds only to do penguin talk trumpeting. Stop. You're right. That was a lot of racket.
And
Okay, the bottom of page 142, the caption, Maddie.
Every adult penguin has its own special call, like a fingerprint. Chicks have their own special whistle too.
I don't really understand that. They said their own special call like a fingerprint.
Because
Katerina?
everyone has their own special fingerprint.
Is that
None
true?
of them are the same.
Everybody, take a look at your finger. So the lines on there are your own lines, yes?
My mom said that some, like twins, it's rare, but twins can have the same fingerprints.
Maddie, you're a twin.
Yeah, and Akasha's too.
And Akash, do you have the same fingerprint as your twin?
It's hard to know. Unless you put it
Check it tonight.
Unless you put it in
Check
the
tonight.
and then you can. That's what some people do.
Alright.
They take their hand and then they put it in ink and then they do this too.
Oh, I know. Every adult penguin has its own special call, like a fingerprint. Wow, that's pretty cool. So even when that racket's going on, the calls are all different.
Like fireflies.
Fireflies too. On page 143, as soon as things have calmed down, the mother penguin, would you continue reading? Tanishka?
Is sick. Right into her chick's mouth. Yeah.
You may think, yum, thinks the chick, and gobbles it all down. Boys and girls, we talked about it yesterday, and what did we decide? That it's nature. It's what is natural. Would you continue reading? Who hasn't had a chance and would love to? Sabrina, strong voice.
It's the mother's turn to take care of the chick now. While the father sets off to the sea for a well-earned meal of its own. About time to...
Absolutely. The end. Oh, I see a hand up. Brent.
On 7, it says, when the mother comes back, she watches the chick so the father can go off to the sea for a meal.
All right, so is that true or false, that statement? And what part of the text proved it? What page?
144.
144. Who can read the specific line in the text that said, yes, this is what happens? Trent?
It says, okay. Well, the father sets off to the sea for a well-earned meal of its own. About time, too.
Yeah, I would even say the line before it. It's the mother's turn to take care of the chick now. Okay. All right, good job. All right, 2J. Well, we reread it, and we were looking through the lens of proving, Julian and Hayden, our anticipation guide, those statements that got us ready to read. Now here's your next job. I'm going to partner you up, and you are going to work with your partner to fill out facts about how the emperor penguin looks, its habitat, where it lives, what food it eats, and how it acts. These, boys and girls, do not have to be, Eleanor, complete sentences. They can be bullet points. But all your bullet points have to come from where?
The books.
The book, the text. They have to be from the text. They can't be background knowledge. They have to be evidence from the text. All right, what I want you to do is keep your book open, walk back to your seats, put your book on your desk, and ask for wait. All right, we're going to be sitting for quite a while, so I want you to stand up with your book open on your desk, stand up, and we're going to get ready to pair up. All right, because you have been sitting for quite a while and thinking. So before we start the next one, we want to make sure our brain's ready to go. All right, are you guys ready? Okay, stand up, hand up.
Step out to the left and step out to the right and jump, jump, jump. left and then you step out to the right and then you jump, jump, jump. Step out to the left and then you step out to the right and then you jump, jump, jump. Let's go!
All right, pair up. Look around, raise your hand if you do not have a pair. I can't be a pair, sorry. And pair up. Okay, this is your partner that you're going to be working with to complete your emperor penguin looks, habitat, food, and behaviors. I will give you your paper once you are seated with your book and your pencil and your whiteboard you'll need underneath, somewhere in the room. I'll know you're ready for your paper because your book will be open, you'll have your pencil, you'll have your whiteboard, and you'll be waiting quietly. Thank you. What am I noticing? I think you and your partner should probably sit eat. Not now. Oh, these girls look ready. All right, you will have 10 minutes to do this. I'll give you a 2-minute warning. Oh, here's another group that's ready.
Lily, here.
There you go.
Let's go. Okay.
This group looks ready. This group looks ready.
And then where's the... Oh, wait. Past it. Right that there. Okay. Male emperor penguins are about 4 feet tall. Male and the male.
Okay, Amanda and Lily, noticing that you don't have anything down about books. Do you remember a page that talked about how a penguin looks? And when we talk about looks, we can talk about what's on their body. We can talk about okay, why don't you go right there? Page through and see if you can find. Looks also means how tall it is. Do you remember a page that talked about how tall it was?
Because it's 12. Okay. Okay, is it my turn? Yeah. What's more?
Tell me on that page. And read the text that you found that talks about its looks. It is actually the caption.
Or breakfast, or lunch, or snack.
Okay. So you don't have to write that whole sentence, do you?
Very,
I like it. I like it.
Luckily, the penguins don't seem to mind that too much.
1-minute warning.
They have thick feathers. Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
Thick
Hi guys.
feathers.
You know how it acts. I'm looking at this page. Are there any words on this page that kind of tell how it acts? Does it sit at a desk? Does it write with a pencil? No. It slides. Where's the sentence that talks about that it slides?
They slide down it on their tummy.
Okay, so you can put that. How does it act? It slides. I don't slide. So that is something unique to the penguin. Yes, but I don't. The penguin doesn't. The penguin slides on what? It's tummy. It says it in the text. Read this. On their tummies. That is one way it acts. Can you remember some other things? How does it walk? Walking is acting. Find a page that talks about how it walks. 30 seconds. I'm going to ask you guys to stop reading. And Andrew, I'm going to talk to you about behavior and how it acts. I know that when I act, I walk around and I talk. Does the penguin walk around and talk? No. So how does the penguin act? before you go and look at the book, just tell me, what do you remember that they said a penguin does? It didn't say that a penguin walked. It didn't say that a penguin talked. What did it say a penguin did instead of walking? Do you remember how a penguin moves? Yes. And it was waddling. All right, let's see if we can find where they talked about waddling in the text. What page was it? 129, they said. Thanks for the help. So let's see. Waddled off. So how does a penguin behave? How does it walk? It waddles. Perfect. All right, put your finishing touches on. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on back with your partner. Sit with your partner in your books facing the board. You guys have been working very hard for the past 10 minutes. Now it's time for me to get work in. I'll know you're ready because you're sitting just like a cash. I'll know you're ready because you're sitting like Trent. Not sure what ready looks like? Take a look at Bridget. Keep your pencil in your hand. Boys and girls, these two boys can sit right up here. Anything that we put up here that you may not have, you can add. Okay, we're going to do this quick. Okay, first, looks. Tell me some facts that you said about looks. Just the facts. Karina.
Biggest penguin in the world.
Okay, biggest penguin. Next, looks. Julian.
It has flippers and slippers.
Flippers.
Slippers.
Okay.
It's slippers. It says it in
I think maybe it uses
vocabulary powers.
slippers.
Slippers.
Okay, another one. Eleonora.
The chick is about 6 inches.
The chick. Now what's chick?
It's a baby penguin.
It's a baby penguin, okay? And it's 6 inches when it's born. Okay, I'm wondering how large or tall our regular emperor penguin is. Meadow?
They're 4 feet tall.
Okay, about 4 feet tall. Okay, there's more. Thumb up if you got more. Okay, I'm running out of space and a little bit of time, so I'm going to keep this and jump over to habitat. Habitat means what? Say it.
Where they live.
Where they live. Okay. And where do they live, everybody?
Antarctica.
Antarctica. And we talked about that earlier this week. What? I'm going to ask adjectives. Describe Antarctica. Describe. You said it in the text. It said to. Do you remember those, Justin?
Cold and windy.
Cold, windy, and icy. Cold, adjectives, a describing word. Windy, adjective, describing word. And icy. What else about where it lives? Bridget?
Penguins live on ice.
Yes. Bridget, I don't live on ice. Penguins live on ice. So I'm going to add that as a bullet point. Live on ice. All right, I'm going to jump down to food. Hayden.
Squid.
They eat squid. S-Q. Could you help me with the rest of it? Squat. U, because it's a U always follows a Q.
ID.
Id. Yeah? Anything else they eat? Andrew. Fish. Marvelous. Fish. Andrew, what do you hear at the end of fish? Excellent. Kiss your brain. S-H. And one more thing that it eats, Sabrina.
Krill.
Krill. Is that a C or a K?
K.
Okay. K-R-I.
L.
Oh, 2 L's?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right, let's jump to behavior. Now, behavior, I was talking to some groups about this, is how they act. Like, you know how I act. I talk, I walk, I jump, I sing.
Put actor right there.
Okay? How does a penguin, does the penguin talk? Does the penguin walk?
Yeah.
But in,
He waddles.
he waddles. Waddles. Slides on the tummy.
Swims.
Tummy, the text said slides on the tummy. It swims.
He makes a lot of racket.
Makes a lot of racket or noise.
Makes
Makes milk.
Eats. They huddle together.
Oh, yeah. Boy, you guys, this pen can't go fast enough. I'm going to have to put it up here. Huddle together. And you know what, Justin? Once they huddle together, they move in a group, and it's called, do you remember? Trundles. Trundles. All right. Shh, 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 shh. 2J. Cole. Good job on this. You're going to keep your sheets because tomorrow we're going to use this information to make another little packet, but it's a very small one. What I want you to do now is you're going to put your book, your whiteboard, and your sheet at your desk, and your pencil, and you're going to come back with only two things: whiteboard and yellow marker. I hope you can do it by the time I get to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Well, everybody's coming back, hands down, if you're listening. I wanted to show you these cool pictures of Antarctica. They are the real deal. I had a student a couple years ago whose grandparents went on this researching ship to Antarctica. And there the people are getting it off of it. We've been reading about Antarctica and the Arctic. And we know in the Antarctica, are there any people there?
Yeah.
No, only visitors, right? And there's some visitors. Take a look at the ice and the snow. Icebergs.
There's little
And this one is probably not called iceberg, but maybe an ice floe. Remember? All right. Now, here are some penguins.
I love penguins.
In my habitat.
That's a chin strap.
These are chin straps. Yes. Boys and girls, I'm sad to say, Amanda, would you please move over here? I'm sad to say that I don't have any of the emperor, but I do have a couple more. After looking at the pictures and reading and writing about it, I thought, what a treat to see the real deal.
The other way. Seal.
Sorry.
Seal.
And last but certainly not least, this is pretty cool because if you look really closely,
It's climbing.
what do you see
It's
close?
laying an egg. It's laying an egg. I see that. Let me see. I can see that.
I'm wondering if you could wait quietly and I'll show it to you again.
Why is it up like that? Like a bird.
Julian, this particular one, I think the picture might go this way, and that would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, boys and girls, I'm going to have these out for you the rest of the day to take a closer look. But right now, I also wanted you to read this really cool article. And I'm going to help you read it because it's kind of tough. And it's called Lost Penguin Back in Its Natural Habitat. Take it. You don't need to put your name on it, but you have your yellow markers. What you're going to do with that is if you come to a word you don't know, like we're reading, you're going to highlight it. If you come to a word you don't know while you're reading, you're going to highlight it and expand your vocabulary. Okay, you ready? I'll read some. I need to get my yellow marker. And then you go ahead and read some. Here we go. This is an article. This is a piece of nonfiction. It's different from the piece you read before. This was in the newspaper. The purpose of this article, we'll talk about it afterwards. Be tracking, because I may ask you to read. Lost penguin back in its natural habitat. A woman was walking her dog along the beach in New Zealand in late June when she saw something that looked like a white ball in the sand. Did you come across a word you were wondering about? Yes. New Zealand. Does anybody know anything about New Zealand?
It's like a small city. It's near Antarctica.
It is near Antarctica. So I'm going to turn this so you can see Antarctica. And I'm going to check the globe to see if, oh, you guys found it. It's the green right here. And wait, it will come your way. So she was walking her dog along the beach in New Zealand. And let's see what happens. She saw something that looked like a white ball. It turned out to be, everybody read, a young emperor penguin that was very, very lost. You see, at his age, he should have been close to, say it, Antarctica. Say it with me, swimming for fish, squid, and krill, and playing on the ice floes. But this penguin started swimming north and just kept going. Well, if it was here in Antarctica and it started swimming north, can you see?
Too north.
He went too north. And he left Antarctica and ended up on the coast of
New Zealand.
What does coast mean?
New Zealand must be.
What's the coast, Bridget? Get your hands ready. Where the water meets the land. Let's see what happens. That is the problem. The penguin attracted a lot of attention in New Zealand. It had been 40 years since the emperor penguin had been seen there. Researchers at the County Department of Conservation were called in. They decided to watch the penguin closely, but not to disturb it in any way. Many New Zealanders came to Peka Peka Beach to look at the elegant penguin. They were careful to keep their dogs away from it so it wouldn't be frightened. The Department of Conservation, did you highlight that? That means it's a group of people that work to keep things safe and good in the world. Remember conservation about saving?
Yeah, but it tastes like water.
It's in New Zealand. Do I have a volunteer to continue reading? Strong voice. Trent. The public.
The public nicknamed the animal Happy Feet. Researchers started to notice that Happy Feet didn't seem well. It turns out he had been eating the sand from the beach, likely thinking it was snow. Oh my God.
Boys and girls, I know you had comprehension. You understood what you were reading because of your reaction. It's not good, is it? Let's see what happens. Continue reading, Lily.
I have a word too.
Yes.
Nickname and the last one's elegant.
Okay, let's go to nickname. Anybody help with nickname? Andrew.
Nickname is like your like to be called. Yeah, like to be called. It's not like your real name.
It's kind of like a pet name.
Like yeah, it's not like your real name.
Not a real name. Kind of a fun name. Elegant. Yes. No, not breakable. Nice, proper, and beautiful. And a penguin is quite graceful, elegant. All right, I'm going to continue reading. Well, the public raised more than 11,000 pounds for an operation to get the sand out of his belly. Pounds is another word for dollar over in their country. The operation was a success, and Happy Feet was taken to a zoo in Wellington, New Zealand. A group of experts met to decide how to best help Happy Feet return to the wild. Last Sunday, they put him on a boat called the, please wait, Tangaroa, an especially built ice-filled crate, and took him out to the Southern Ocean, southeast of New Zealand. There, they released him. Okay. Could your neighbor show you where we're at? There, they released. Do you see it, Kira?
They released, okay.
Okay, there, they released him. Got it?
I see where we are now.
There, they released him. Now, I lost my spot. Somebody help me.
Into the ocean.
Oh, into the ocean, which is his natural habitat. He took one last look at his human helpers and then dived into the ocean. Emperor penguins spend their first 5 years at sea, said Peter Simpson of New Zealand's Department of Conservation. What happens now is up to the penguin. Happy Feet was fitted with a satellite transmitter so they can monitor his progress using the internet. So far, the tracker shows that he swam northeast for a little while before getting his bearings and heading south. A satellite transmitter.
It's kind of like a satellite.
A little satellite that was put in his body so they could see where he was going. And they noticed that when he left New Zealand, that he started to go north. But then what did the text say?
It went like northeast and then it's
And then he got his bearings, he knew where he was, and he started to go south back.
I think it's
So they believe that they made it. Let's read the last one. I'm going to have a volunteer read this really interesting fact. Maddie, strong voice.
Emperor penguins are one of the largest penguins, weighing up to 330 kilograms and standing about a
Meter tall.
And they can stay underwater for 11 minutes at a time.
Wow. I am going to add to behavior that they can stay under water for how long?
11 minutes.
11 minutes. That's amazing. Boys and girls, tomorrow we're going to revisit this article and we're going to talk about how this article and our story are alike and different.